Morning, everybody. Day 46. Today we're going to read a book by Patricia McKissick called Flossie and the Fox. Patricia McKissick is a favorite author of mine. She actually grew up in the St. Louis area like Grandma, and her son Fred is also an author, but he's a friend of Cousin John's. And I've always thought that was kind of cool that we knew somebody that was a famous writer. She's passed away now, but she's still a favorite author. This book is illustrated by Rachel Isidore, who was the author and illustrator from our book yesterday, Ben's Trumpet. Flossie and the Fox. This book is set a long time ago, like 150 years. Flossie! The sound of Big Mama's voice floated past the cabins, in Sophie's quarters, round the smokehouse, beyond the chicken coop, all the way down to Flossie fiddling. Flossie tucked away her straw doll in a hollow log, then hurried to answer her grandmother's call. "Here I am, Big Mama," Flossie called after catching her breath. It was hot. Hotter than usual on a Tennessee August day. Big Mama stopped sorting peaches and wiped her hands and face with her apron. "Take these to Miss Viola over at the McCutcheon place," she said, reaching behind her and handing Flossie a basket of fresh eggs. "Seem like they've been trouble about Fox. Miss Viola's chicken be so scared they can't even now lay a stone." Big Mama clicked her teeth and shook her head. "What come Mr. J.W. can't catch that fox with his dogs?" Flossie asked, putting a peach in her apron pocket to eat later. "Every day they corner that old slickster, he gets away. I tell you that fox is one sly critter." "How do a fox look?" Flossie asked. "I just remember ever seeing one." Big Mama had to think a bit. "Chilly, a fox, he just a fox. But one thing for sure, he is a rascal, loves eggs. He'll do most anything to get some eggs." Flossie tucked the basket under her arm and started on her way. "Don't tarry now," Big Mama called, "and be particular about them eggs." "Yes'm," Flossie answered. The way through the woods was shorter and cooler than the road route under the open sun. "What if I come upon a fox?" thought Flossie. "Oh, well, fox just be a fox. They ain't so scary." Flossie commenced skipping along when she came upon a critter she couldn't elect ever seen. He was sitting side the road like he was expecting somebody. Flossie skipped right up to him and nodded a greeting the way she'd been taught to. "Top of the morning to you, little missy," the critter replied. "And what is your name?" "I be Flossie Finley," she answered with a proper curtsy. "I reckon I don't know who you be either." Slowly, the animal curled round Flossie. "I am a fox," he answered, all the time eyeing the basket of eggs. He stopped in front of Flossie, smiled as best a fox can, and bowed. "At your service." Flossie rocked back on her heels and then up on her toes, back and forward and back, carefully studying the creature who was claiming to be a fox. "No," she said at last, "I just purely don't believe it." "You don't believe what?" Fox asked, looking away from the basket of eggs for the first time. "I don't believe you a fox, that's what." Fox's eyes flashed with anger, then he chuckled softly. "My dear child," he said, sounding right disgusted. "Of course I'm a fox. A little girl like you should be simply terrified of me. Whatever do they teach children these days?" Flossie tossed her head in the air. "Well, whatever you are, you sure think a heap of yourself," she said, and skipped away. Fox looked shocked. "Wait," he called. "You mean you're not frightened? Not just a bit?" Flossie stopped. Then she turned and said, "I ain't never seen a fox before, so why should I be scared of you and out of you now? Now you're a real fox for a fact." Fox pulled himself tall and he cleared his throat. Are you saying I must offer proof that I'm a fox before you'll be frightened of me? I just saying what I saying. Little Flossie skipped on through the piney woods while that fox fellow rushed away looking for whatever he needed to prove he was really who he was. Meanwhile, Flossie stopped to rest beside a tree. Suddenly Fox was beside her. I have proof, he said. See, I have a thick, luxurious fur. Feel it for yourself. Fox leaned over Flossie to rub his back. Feels like rabbit fur to me, he said to the fox. Shucks, you ain't no fox, you're a rabbit, all the time trying to fool me. Me, a rabbit, he shouted. I've you know my reputation precedes me. I'm the third generation of foxes who ever outsmarted and outrun Mr. J.W. McCutcheon's fine hunting dogs. I have raided some of the best hen houses from Franklin to Madison. Rabbit indeed. I'm a fox and you will act accordingly. Flossie hopped to her feet. She put her free hand on her hip and patted her foot. Unless you can show you a fox, I'll not accord you nothing. Without further ceremony, she skipped away. Down the road a piece, Flossie stopped by a bubbly spring. She knelt to get a drink of water. Fox came up to her and said, I have a long pointed nose. Now that should be proof enough. Don't prove a thing to me. Flossie picked some wildflowers. Come to think of it, she said matter-of-fact-like, rats got long pointed noses. She snapped a finger. That's it. You're a rat trying to pass yourself off as a fox. That near about took Fox's breath away. I beg your pardon, he gasped. You can beg all you wanna, Flossie said, skipping on down the road. That still don't make you no fox. I'll teach you a thing or two, young lady, Fox called after her. You just wait and see. Before long, Flossie came to a clearing. A large orange tabby was stunning up on a tree stump. Hi, pretty kitty, the girl say, and rubbed the cat behind the ears. Meanwhile, Fox slipped from behind a clump of bushes. Since you won't believe me when I tell you I'm a fox, he said stiffly, perhaps you'll believe that fine feline creature towards whom you seem to have some measure of respect. Flossie looked at the cat and winked her eye. He sure used a heap of words, she whispered. Fox beckoned for Cat to speak up. Cat jumped to a nearby log and yawned and stretched, and then she answered, This is a fox because he has sharp claws and yellow eyes, she purred. Fox seemed satisfied, but Flossie looked at Cat. She looked at Fox, then once more at both just to be sure. She said, All due respect, Miss Cat, but both y'all got sharp claws and yellow eyes, so don't prove nothing, except both y'all be cats. Fox went to howling and running around in circles. He was plumb beside himself. I'm a fox and I know it, he shouted. This is absurd. Don't call for to use that kind of language, Flossie said, and skipped away. Wait, Fox followed, pleading. I just remembered something. It may be the solution to this horrible situation. Good, it's about time. I have a bushy tail, Fox seemed to perk up. That's right, he said. All foxes are known for their fluffy, bushy tails. That has got to be adequate proof. Ain't gotta be. You got a bushy tail, so do squirrels. Flossie pointed to one overhead leaping from branch to branch in the treetops. Here, have a bite of peach, she said, offering Fox first bite of her treat. But Fox was crying like a natural-born baby. No, he sobbed. If I promise you I'm a fox, won't that do? Flossie shook her head no. Oh, woe is me, Fox hollered. I may never recover my confidence. Flossie stopped walking. That's just what I've been saying. You just an old confidencer. Come telling me you was a fox and can't prove it. Shame on you. Long about that time, Flossie the Fox came out of the woods. Flossie cupped her hand over her eyes and caught sight of the McCutcheon quarters in Miss Viola's cabin. Fox didn't notice a thing. He just followed behind Flossie, begging to be believed. Give me one last chance, he pleaded. Flossie turned on her heels. Okay, but just this once More. Fox tried not to whimper, but his voice was really unsteady, like, I have sharp teeth and I can run exceedingly fast. He waited for Flossie to say something. Slowly the girl rocked from heel to toe, back and forward. You know, she said, finally smiling, it don't make much difference what I think anymore. What? Fox asked. Why? 'Cause there's one of Mr. J.W. McCutcheon's hounds behind you, and he got sharp teeth and can run fast too. And by the way, that hound looked at it all over for you. With a quick glance, Fox dashed towards the woods. The hound knows who I am, he shouted, but I'm not worried. I sure can outsmart and outrun a Mr. J.W. McCutcheon's miserable mutts any old time of the day, 'cause like I told you, I'm a fox. I know, said Flossie, I know. And she turned towards Miss Viola's with a basket of eggs safely tucked under her arms. Flossie and the Fox.